Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm Kerry. Today I'll be showing you how to crochet a fish applique, which was another request I received. When crocheted using 8-ply yarn and a 3mm hook, these large ones, the size will be 12 centimeters wide by 10.5 centimeters or 4 3/4 inches wide by 4 inches. This medium fish, crocheted using 4-ply crochet cotton and a 1.5mm hook, is 10 centimeters wide by 8.5 centimeters or 4 inches wide by 3.5 inches. The small fish, crocheted using 2-ply crochet cotton and a 1mm hook, is 7 centimeters wide by 6.5 centimeters or 2 3/4 inches wide by 2 inches. I'll be using Catona cotton today, so the size will be slightly smaller than this one. I'll tell you the size at the end of the video. I'll be using the blue colours today. I'll be using Catona cotton. I've got 201 electric blue, 173 Bluebell, 208 yellow gold, 106 snow white, 110 black and 280 lemon. I've got scissors, a 2.5mm crochet hook, a darning needle to weave in the ends, and I've got some black 4-ply cotton to embroider on the markings, but you could use the black Catona cotton if you prefer. I just find it's a bit thick. Now we're starting on the nose part and we'll work back to here and then work the fin, the tail and the other fin. I've got my 273, the Bluebell, and we make a magic loop. There's lots of ways to make a magic loop, so make it how you feel most comfortable. I just put my hook on the yarn, bring the short end over the hook and the long end over the short end to make a circle, then yarn around the hook and bring my hook with the yarn at the end through the circle. Then we work 3 chain. And we're going to work 3 double crochet into our circle. That's for the nose part. A double crochet is a treble using UK terms. For a double crochet, put the yarn around the hook, hook in through the circle and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook. Take the hook with this yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook and hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. We need 2 more double crochet into our circle. And then we pull our circle tight. So we take hold of this tail and just ease it in. And now we're going to work this black piece. So I'm going to fasten off my blue, but I'm going to leave a little bit of an end because I'm going to work the neatening row with it just round the nose part. So just a little bit of a tail left. Now we're going to join in our black, so just put a loop of black on your hook and just pull it through and then pull your Bluebell tight, and we're going to work 5 chain. That's for this little part up along the top of the head. So 5 chain. We work 1 slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. So put your hook into the second chain, bring through a loop and take it straight through the loop on the hook. And then we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each remaining chain. A half double crochet is a half treble using UK terms. For a half double crochet, put the yarn around the hook, hook into the next chain and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook. Take the hook with this yarn at the end through all the loops. So 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2 chain as well. and then we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the first 2 stitches. So just spin your work around and work 1 half double crochet in each of the first 2 stitches. And work 3 half double crochet into our last stitch. And that's the black part done. Now we're going to join in our blue. I'm just going to leave a little bit of a tail for that one and a little bit of a tail for the black one, just for the neatening row. So fasten off your black with not too much, but just a little bit of a tail, and put a loop over your hook and bring it through the black, and then pull that a bit tight. And leave your ends on this side. For row 3 we work 1 chain, and we're going to work 3 single crochet in our first stitch. A single crochet is a double crochet using UK terms. For a single crochet, put your hook in the stitch, bring through a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through both loops. So we need 2 more single crochet in that same stitch. 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, and now we're going to work 1 treble into each of the following 2 stitches. A treble is a double treble using UK terms. For a treble, put the yarn around the hook twice, hook into the stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook. Take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, and yarn around the hook, hook through the last 2 loops. So 1 more treble into the next stitch, and then slip stitch into the following stitch. So hook into the stitch, bring through a loop and take it straight through the loop on the hook, and then fasten off the bluebell with a normal tail. And that's the head part done. Now I won't weave in these ends yet because some of them will be used for the neatening row. Now I'm going to be using my electric blue. Now for the body, I've got my 201, the electric blue, and we join to the first stitch of the bluebell, so just down at the bottom there. Now I've left a very long tail to use for the neatening row. I've got somewhere between 1 metre and 2 metres. We're going to be working 1 slip stitch in each stitch up the side and 1 or 2 single crochet along the back, and then a slip stitch down the other side. So it depends how much you need as to what weight of yarn you're using. I rather leave too much than too little. Now for row 4 we start with 1 chain, we work 2 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. One half double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. So just in the next stitch, and then down into the stitch where we work the slip stitch, one in there, and then one into the next stitch, work one single crochet into each of the next two stitches, and then into the chain we left at the beginning of the black, work 2 single crochet and 1 half double crochet. It can be just a bit tricky to get into there. For row 5, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 2 single crochet into the first stitch, one single crochet into each stitch to the last stitch, and work 2 single crochet into the last stitch. For row 6, we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 17 stitches. For row 7, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 2 single crochet into the first stitch. We work 1 single crochet into each stitch to the last stitch. We'll work 2 single crochet into the last stitch and we'll have 19 stitches. So after the 2 single crochet into the first stitch, work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. And work 2 single crochet into the last stitch. For row 8, we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 19 stitches. For row 9, we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Now we're going to start decreasing down from the top of the back. For row 10, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 1 single crochet in each of the first 16 stitches. And we'll work a joined single crochet over the next 2 stitches. So we put our hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, and hook into the following stitch and bring up a loop. We've got 3 loops on the hook. We put the yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. We leave that last stitch. For row 11, we start with 1 chain and turn. We're going to work a joined single crochet over the first 3 stitches. So we put our hook into the first stitch and bring up a loop, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, and hook into the following stitch and bring up a loop. There are 4 loops on the hook. We put the yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. Then we work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. We'll work 2 single crochet into the last stitch and we'll have 16 stitches. So after the joined single crochet, work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. And work 2 single crochet into the last stitch. For row 12, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 1 single crochet into each of the first 13 stitches. And we work a joined single crochet over the last 3 stitches. For row 13 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 3 stitches. We work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. We'll work 2 single crochet in the last stitch and we'll have 13 stitches. So after the joined single crochet, work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. And work 2 single crochet into the last stitch. For row 14 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 1 single crochet in each of the first 11 stitches. And work a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. For row 15 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches and then work 1 single crochet in each of the 10 remaining stitches. For row 16 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches. 1 half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. 1 double crochet into each of the following 3 stitches. That's a treble using UK terms. So 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. One half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. And that's the body done except for the neatening row. We can fasten that one off. Now for the neatening row, I bring up a loop of the electric blue and work 1 chain, and we're going to work 1 slip stitch in each stitch up the side. So just find a suitable place to put your hook, not too far from the edge, and We try not to pull too tight so that our work stays flat. For neatening rows, it can be easier to use a size or two finer hook. Now I've just gone into the edge of the end. I work one chain, and along the top we're going to work 1 or 2 single crochet. Now, so that this top fin fits in properly, we need to increase a little bit. So when we're going round corners, just work 2 single crochet, probably 2 or 3 times along the top. If your work starts to bend back a bit, work 2 single crochet into that stitch, because we just need to add a few stitches so that this fin will have enough stitches to work it in. It can be quite long, that fin, so if you work too many, it doesn't really matter, you'll just have a longer fin. I'll work 2 in here. I'll work two in this one as well. And then just at the corner, work 1 chain quite tightly and work 1 slip stitch in each stitch, just down to the black. So just at the corner of the black, I'll join in my black. Now we put our hook into the last stitch of blue and put a loop of black over our hook and slip stitch it through. So bring it through the loop and then the loop on the hook, and then leave the blue, electric blue there, and work down the black. Just a slip stitch in it, in each stitch. And when we get just to the first little bit of the Bluebell, we bring up our tail of Bluebell and work into that. And work 1 slip stitch in each stitch around the Bluebell. Just into the end there, into the end of the magic loop, I'll work 1 slip stitch, 1 chain and 1 slip stitch, just to give it a little bit of a point. And then I join in my black when I get to the edge of the black. And for the last bit of Bluebell, you could either work it in black or join in your Bluebell. There's only a stitch there, so it doesn't really matter. And then join into the first stitch of the electric blue and fasten off. Now, that's the body of the fish done, except for these, the yellow and the black markings. I'll weave in these ends and I'll be back with my yellow gold and we'll work this next part. Now for this yellow piece, I've got my 208, the yellow gold, and we join to the second stitch along the blue at the bottom. We work one single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, so not the one where we joined, the next 3. And then we work 1 or 2 half double crochet in each stitch to the end of the body, so this stitch here. Now if your stitch starts to bend back, work 2 half double crochet in that stitch. So you'll probably need 2 or 3. I've just worked 2 in that one, and around this corner I'll probably work 2 in another 1 or 2. I'll work an extra one in there. And then I like to just work one chain quite tightly and slip stitch down the side of the last half double crochet, either 1 or 2 slip stitches, just to neaten it. And then slip stitch in the neatening row there. And fasten off. And that's the yellow part done. Now for this black part, we join to the first stitch along the back, so just before the yellow, and work one single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. So just before the yellow and then along the yellow. One half double crochet into each of the following 2 stitches. and 2 double crochet into the next stitch. That's a treble using UK terms. And then 1 double crochet into each of the following 2 stitches. Now we're going to work 1 or 2 treble in each stitch to the end. We put the yarn around the hook twice at the beginning of the stitch. We will need 2 treble into probably 1 or 2 stitches. I'll work an extra one in there. And 1 treble into the last stitch. Then we'll just neaten down the side. Just work 1 chain and work some slip stitches down the side just to neaten it. Just 2 or 3 probably. And then slip stitch into the side of the yellow and fasten off. And that's the body finished. I'll weave in those ends and we'll be back and we'll work this bottom fin. Now for the bottom fin, I've got my 280, the lemon, and I join it to the first black stitch. Just in there. We work 1 chain and work 2 single crochet into the next stitch. So not where we joined. One single crochet into each of the following 2 stitches. And a join single crochet over the following 2 stitches. For row 2 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a join single crochet over the first 2 stitches. 1 single crochet into the next stitch and a joined half double crochet over the following 2 stitches. So put the yarn around the hook, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook, hook into the last stitch and bring up a loop. We've got lots of loops on the hook. Put the yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. For row 3 we work 2 chain and turn. We work 1 half double crochet into the first stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch. That's a treble using UK terms, and 1 half double crochet into the last stitch. And we fasten that off. For the neatening row, we join about 4 stitches down the blue. And then slip stitch into the next stitch, and then just work 1 slip stitch in each stitch up around the fin. And then just slip stitch in the same stitch as the last stitch of the fin and fasten off. And that's the fin done. I'll weave in those ends and then we'll start on the tail. Now for the bottom of the tail, I've still got my 280, the lemon, and we join in the third stitch after the small fin. And work 2 chain. We work 1 half double crochet in the same stitch as the join, 2 half double crochet into the next stitch, and 1 half double crochet into the following stitch, and then fasten off the lemon. For the top of the tail, we join in the first stitch of the lemon. I've got my 208, the yellow gold. Work 2 chain, work 2 half double crochet in the same stitch as the join, one half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and 2 half double crochet into the last stitch. For row 2, we start with 2 chain and turn. We work 2 half double crochet into the first stitch, 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into each of the following 2 stitches, 1 half double crochet into the next stitch and 2 half double crochet into the last stitch. For row 3 we start with 2 chain and turn. We work 2 half double crochet into the first stitch, 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into each of the following 4 stitches. One half double crochet into the next stitch and 2 half double crochet into the last stitch. And we fasten off. Now I'll weave in those ends and then I'll be back and we'll work the top fin. And for this top fin we join the 208, the yellow gold, to the second stitch after the tail. Now I like to leave a long tail to just work a slip stitch in each stitch around. We start with 1 chain and work a joined single crochet over the next 2 stitches, so not the stitch we joined in, and then work 1 single crochet in each stitch along the back part. Row 2 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches. Then 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch, the last 2 stitches. So work 1 single crochet in each stitch until we have 2 left. And work a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. For row 3 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches, then work 1 single crochet in each stitch until we have 3 left. And work a joined single crochet over the last 3 stitches. For row 4 we start with 2 chain and turn. We work a joined half double crochet over the first 2 stitches, 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, and 1 double crochet in each remaining stitch. That's a treble using UK terms. and we fasten off. Now for the neatening row, we bring up a loop of our yellow gold at the beginning, work one chain and just work one slip stitch in each stitch around. And then just slip stitch in the bottom there and fasten off. Now for the eye, I've got my 106, the Snow White, and we start with a magic loop. We work one chain and 7 single crochet into our circle. We pull the circle tight and join with a slip stitch in the top of the first stitch. And fasten off. Now I'll just weave in the rest of the ends and I'll be back and we'll put it together. Now there's the pieces. I've got the fish and the eye. The first thing I do is embroider a black dot in the centre of the eye, like that one, and then I'll attach the eye just at the top of this light blue part, so just in there. Now the last thing I do is work these black markings on the fish, from the top of the fish on the lines of the rows, and they come down and up a bit, so I just work them down to the various sizes and kind of curl them up and around. So I'll do that and I'll be back to show you the finished fish. There's the finished fish. The size is 11.5 centimetres wide by 10.5 centimetres, or 4.5 inches wide by 3 3/4 inches. If you've liked my video, please like, subscribe and share. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest and Patreon. The details are in the description below, along with the details of my website where I have my patterns and the details of my Facebook group. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.